Now gold is not enough.
Hello. Yeah. So what I was continuing that. So today I will first introduce the company. So IEM Labs is the company that was formed on 2016. We are ISO 27001 2013 certified, that is information security management, and we are also ISO 9001 2015 certified, that is product quality management. We are also an official member of NASSCOM. We are EC Council accredited training center and exam center. Our various services are like we provide many type of courses like cyber security courses, programming courses, and blockchain courses, development courses, web development, Android development, IoT development, etc. We have different language courses. So the next we have is summer or winter training. The things that I told, all the courses are available in short forms of 10 hours or 12 hours in summer or winter training. And next, we provide VAPT services, that is security services for many companies. Our some esteemed clients are Crosstack Technologies, Applex.in, IEM, UEM colleges, etc. So moving on to the next module, we develop many kinds of softwares and products. Those are available in Play Store and in the open market also. These are basically innovative products which are new to the market. Moving on to today's speakers, the first speaker is myself. My name is Ritik Lal. I am the Chief Technical Officer of IEM Labs. I am EC Council certified instructor, and I have two other certifications from EC Council, that is Certified Ethical Hacker and EC Council Certified Security Analyst. I am also a Network Associate certified from Cisco, and I am Certified Network Penetration Tester. The other speaker for the day is Mr. Debayan Roy. He is the IT Security Analyst at IEM Labs. His certifications are, he is EC Council Certified Hacker, Certified Network Penetration Tester, and Cisco Certified Network Associate. So this is a brief introduction about the company and today's speakers. Now moving on to the introduction part, I have completed. Moving on to today's topics. So our today's workshop is on ethical hacking. So we have developed some content. So we will be starting with introducing ethical hacking. So my question is, what is ethical hacking? So ethical hacking. So first of all, let me tell you what is hacking. Hacking refers to exploitation of system vulnerabilities and compromising security control to gain unauthorized or inappropriate access to system resources. For example, suppose you have a computer and I am your friend. So without your permission, I am trying to log in into your computer. So that is called unethical access to your system. This is basically called hacking. Now, hacking involves modification of system and application features. Suppose your computer is password protected. So what I will do is I will use some software or some live tools to change your password and log into the system. So that is basically modifying your system. And why do a person hack a particular system? Because hacking can be used to steal, pilfer, or redistribute any intellectual property or data, leading to personal or business loss. So this is a brief intro about what is called hacking. Moving on to the next concept, that is what is ethical hacking. Now I will give a small example of what is ethical hacking. Suppose I am working for the company IEM Labs and they have a website, they have a system, they have a server room. So what I will do is I will test their system and try to hack those system invariably. So when I am invariably hacking their system, then I am getting access to, if there is any process by which I am getting access to their system, that is known as ethical hacking. So basically, after I get the access, I will forward the matter to the development department. The development department will fix the issue and hence the security of the system will get increased. So this is basically called ethical hacking. Ethical hackers are hired by companies to test their system and to give them the report so that their company's infrastructure security can be modified. Now, there are several types of hackers. So, number one is black hat hacker. A black hat hacker is someone who hacks for his personal purpose. That means a black hat hacker will hack a system for selling out data. Suppose, for example, a hacker has hacked the satellite of NASA. So instead of informing NASA, what he does is he changed the course, or he sold the access to some other country so that the satellite can be moved away or hacked, or the satellite can be destroyed. So this is basically the work of a black hat hacker. He does everything for money and he exploits the system. Next, we have white hat hacker. A white hat hacker is a very noble person. A white hat hacker is someone who does everything very lawfully. He follows every rule. If he get any vulnerabilities, he informs the authorities then and there, and he follows all these steps to check out the system and follow all the steps to do the hacking. So basically, this is white hat hacker. Now come the most dangerous part, that is gray hat hacker. A gray hat hacker is a person who does both white hat hacking and black hat hacking. For example, I got a vulnerability in the system of IEM Labs. Gray is basically the mixture of white and black. So the white work that I will do is I will inform IEM Labs about the vulnerability. But the black work that I will do is I will sold that vulnerability to other companies also, so that they can use this vulnerability and can cause some trouble to IEM Labs. Next is suicide hacker. Who is a suicide hacker? A suicide hacker is a person who does hacking very aggressively. He does not follow any protocol or any hiding process. He does not follow any hiding process. He does not use any VPN, or he does not use any what I can say MAC hider or anything, so that he can be hidden from the place. Next is the next part is after suicide hacker, we have script kiddies. So who is a script kiddie? A script kiddie is a person who does not understand what a process is going on. Like suppose many of you have done this, that you have opened YouTube, searched how to hack WhatsApp. Now WhatsApp is showing you, now there is a video where some process is shown. You have not understood anything. You have just blindly followed the process and you got access to someone's WhatsApp. So this is basically a work of a script kiddie. A script kiddie does not understand the process. He or she directly follows the steps, whatever is shown in the video, and try to hack something. So this is basically script kiddie. Next, we have cyber terrorists. Cyber terrorists are person who do terrorist activity over the cyber world. Like they spread many type of messages or rumors which can cause community trouble. So these type of things are the work of cyber terrorists. And the last two that we have, that is state-sponsored hacker. State-sponsored hacker is someone who is hired by the government for working for the purposes of the government. And lastly, we have hacktivists. Activists are social protesters who protest over the internet world. Now, coming to the most important part, that is steps of ethical hacking. I will request everyone to take a snapshot of this particular screen. So steps of ethical hacking there are 5 steps. Number 1 is reconnaissance. What is reconnaissance? Reconnaissance means information gathering. I will consider a scenario which will make it very easier for you guys to understand. So suppose Shomajit, this was the question that you raised. Its answer is white hat hacker. Okay, so suppose what are the function of activist? Arindam Ghosh. Arindam Ghosh, activists are someone who protest on social issues or political issues over the cyber world. They are known as activists. So basically, I was talking about reconnaissance. So for reconnaissance, suppose this is a person. I know the drawing is very bad, but please excuse me. So suppose this is a person and this is another person who is his friend. So this first person is a hacker. This first person is a hacker and this person is a normal person. So what informations can be gained about this person? Information that can be gained about this person is number 1, IP address, number 2, mobile number, number 3, credentials, number 4, any private details, etc. So Ankita Roy, credentials means username and password of the particular person. It can be any username and password. So how can this type of informations be gathered? This type of informations can be gathered by 2 ways. Number 1 is social engineering. Now, what is social engineering? Social engineering is the process by which I can interact with the person, that can be directly or indirectly, and gain all the information about him. Suppose someone is my friend. I have a friend called Shovik. So I will ask Shovik that what is your password? So this is active information gathering. But I will ask Shovik, or I will ask a third person that I want Shovik's password. Can you ask him and give me the password? So this is called passive information gathering. So number 1 is information gathering, social engineering. Number 2 is peeping. So basically, many of you have done this. Suppose you are traveling by a bus or auto or by any public vehicle. So Shubhadeep Mondal, IP address can be known in many different ways. I will show the thing practically. So please wait, you will get your answer. So yeah, I was talking about peeping. So what is peeping? In peeping, like suppose you are going in a bus, someone is sitting in front of you and he is logging into his Facebook account. So you are looking at the mobile screen and you saw the ID and password. So this is another way. By peeping, we can gain access to many data. Shaurya Agarwal, difference between ethical hacker and state-sponsored hacker. There is no difference. Basically, ethical hacker and state-sponsored hacker, there is only one difference. State-sponsored hackers are hired by government, and ethical hacker can be someone who has a license for hacking. Like suppose I am an ethical hacker, but I am not a state-sponsored hacker. So this is the difference because I am not hired by the government. Acha. So now this was information gathering. Now, once I have gathered the information, I need to scan the information to find out the vulnerabilities of the system. So here comes step number 2, scanning. So once we have gathered the information, we will scan all those information to gain the vulnerabilities of the system. Number 3 is gaining access. So gaining access means once I have got the vulnerabilities of the system, I will use the vulnerabilities to gain access to the particular system. So here comes number 3, gaining access. What is number 4? Number 4 is maintaining access. This is a bit complicated step because suppose I have hacked someone's machine. So once I have hacked someone's machine, I will keep a particular malicious file there which is known as backdoor. The name of the malicious file is called backdoor. So this backdoor file will help me to get access to the system in future whenever I want. I don't need to repeat all the hacking processes again. I will just try to access this backdoor file and I will get access into the particular system. This backdoor portion I will show you practically. There are three questions. Auditro De, how can you avoid or prevent ARP poisoning? Auditro De, there are many firewalls available. You can use firewalls for that. Riddhi Pratim, she, grey hat hacker can be a researcher about hacking. Yes, grey hat hackers can be researcher about hacking. And Pritam, your question is how to secure from backdoor. Please use a good antivirus. Acha. Now, the last step for the ethical hacking is clearing tracks. What is clearing tracks? Clearing track means suppose I have hacked a system, I have created some file or copied some file from here to there and my work is done. Before turning off the system, I should delete all these files and I should remove all the proofs so that the original user does not understand that the system was tracked. So this is basically called clearing tracks. Achha, I have got 2 more questions. Yash Nikam, how can we clear tracks? Yes, you can delete whatever the process you have done or the files you have moved here and there. You can delete all those so that the original user should not be able to understand. Acha. There is another question, sir. Do we need to install Linux in our laptop for the webinar? No, you do not need to install Linux, but I have prepared the drive for you where you will get all the softwares for today's workshop that will be used. Acha, if attacker can bypass antivirus, what to do? Pritam, if you are using a good antivirus, the attacker will not able to bypass it. Debajyoti Datta, how would your commands and switches tool? There are so many. Debajyoti, you can write down a note so that you can remember all those tools, and the more you will practice, the more you will get accustomed to the things. Nikhil Kumar, what is the normal person know if the system is hacked? Nikhil Kumar, please use a good antivirus. You need not to know that the system is hacked. Your antivirus will get to know about it. Can ethical hacker be white hat hacker? Yes, Shreya Chaudhary, all ethical hackers are actually white hat hackers. Devajyoti Datta, can you explain the term clearing tracks? Yes, I am explaining clearing tracks once again. Clearing tracks basically means clearing all the proofs that were created when I was working on the hacked system. Notes related to, yes, everyone, don't worry, all the notes, all the softwares will be provided to you after the workshop is over. Acha, I am moving on to the next topic. Otherwise, we will be late. I will again answer the questions a bit later. Acha, so I told you that there will be some introduction to the Linux OSs for hacking. So basically, we use two Linux OSs for nowadays. Number one is Kali Linux and number two is Parrot. These two are the most two advanced Linux OSs that are available in the market about the for hacking.